Hello everyone and welcome in this new video of how to eat healthy. And so in this part of the video we're going to talk about the four major pillars that are involved into the fact that weight loss diet fail over time. So in this part of the video we are going to dig into these four pillars and see the explanation and understand scientifically why weight loss diets actually don't work over the time. Okay, so I'm letting you with the part of the video now.
That's when the real challenge will begin, basically. Now we get the heart of it, because this is the part that almost no diet book will tell you. This is the part the diet industry has a very strong financial incentive for you not to understand. Diet fails long term because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, because your own biology mount a coordinated, sophisticated, relentless campaign to undo everything you've done. Your body is not your enemy, but when you restrict calorie dramatically, it generally behave like one. So let's go through four major pillars of diet failure. Pillar number one, so we have the metabolic adoption. Okay, so when you lose weight through calorie restriction, something happened that your diet plan doesn't warn you about. Your resting metabolic rate, the number of calories your body burns just to keep you alive, drops significantly. This is called metabolic adaptation, and it's done of the most important and most under-discussed phenomena in nutrition science. So here is the most striking piece of evidence we have for this. And it comes from one of the most uncomfortable studies in diet science. You might have heard of the TV show The Biggest Loser. Yes, contestant who lost extraordinary amount of weight through intensive diet and exercise. Yeah, I'm sure you have seen this TV program before. So researchers from the National Institute of Health follow up with 14 of these contestants 6 years after the competition ended. And what they found was really shocking. So here is the paper on screen for you, but read that again. 6 years later, having regained most of their weight, their metabolisms were still running significantly slower than they should be based on their body size. So basically, their body had permanently recalibrated downward, burning 500 fewer calories per day than expected. Every single day. So that's the equivalent of a full extra meal just vanished from their energy budget. And this isn't just a biggest loser extreme case issue. So the same mechanism operates at much smaller scale. Any sustained calorie restriction triggers some degree of metabolic adaptation. So what does that mean in practice? You start a diet, you lose weight, your metabolism slows. To keep losing weight, you have to eat even less, which makes you more hungry, which makes the diet even harder to maintain, which eventually leads to giving up, which leads to eating more while your metabolism is still running slow. And the weight comes back plus extra. So this is what's happening. Basically, this is the yo-yo cycle. And it's not a character flaw. It's a predictable biological outcome. The pillar number 2 is more related to hormonal changes. So the hunger hormone that works really against you. So if metabolic adaptation is your body quietly turning down the furnace, hormonal changes are your body taking the microphone and shouting, "Eat something." So when you lose weight, two key hormones shift dramatically, and they stay shift. Not just while you're dieting, but for a long time afterwards. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, one of the most prestigious medical journals on earth, followed 50 participants through a 10 weeks intensive diet program. What they found was very alarming. So after losing an average of 13.5 kilograms, participants had significantly lower leptin level and significantly higher ghrelin levels. Their body were screaming at them to eat, basically. But here is the truly surprising part. 1 year after the diet ending, those hormonal levels still hadn't returned to the normal state. So basically, 1 full year later, the hunger signal were still elevated. That's crazy. Think about what that really means. You finish your diet, you've done everything right, you've hit your goal, and after the next year, your body is physiologically set up to make you feel hungrier than normal and less full than normal. So that's crazy. That is not a willpower problem, that's a biological problem. And yet, what do you say to people who regain the weight after a diet? You just didn't have enough discipline. That's what you tell them. But yeah, sure, it's not really that. It's not really that. Okay, so the third pillar, physiological restriction, overeating. Okay, so the third pillar is physiological, and it's one that often gets dismissed as weakness when it's actually a completely predictable human response. Rigid dietary rules create a physiological pressure cooker. Yes, the more food you ban, the more your brain fixates on them. So psychologists call this the ironic process theory, or more colloquially, the white bear effect. That's something that I'm learning as you. So tell yourself not to think about a white bear. And what you think about? The same principle apply for food. Tell yourself you can never eat pasta again, or you can't eat this specific food. And guess what? Pasta become all the things that you want to think about, all the things that you want to eat. So the UCLA researcher Tracy Mann has probably done more work on the long-term failure of diet than almost anyone. So her team reviewed 31 long-term diet studies and found a striking pattern. The majority of dieters not only regained the weight they lost, many ended up heavier than before they started. Her conclusion, published in the American Psychologist, was that diets are not effective treatment for obesity, and that for many people, dieting itself is a risk factor for weight gain. Sit with that for 1 second. The act of dieting itself may be making problem worse long term. Do you realize that? Not because the diet failed, because the cycle of restriction and rebound change your relationship with food, your body, your hunger signal in lasting way. Okay, so now the fourth pillar. The fourth and final pillar is the simplest, and in some ways the most devastating for the diet industry. The question no diet plan ever truly asks you. Can you imagine eating this way for the next 5 years? I'm not asking you to follow this diet for the next 6 weeks. I'm not asking you to follow this diet for the next 3 months. I'm not even asking you to follow this diet for your wedding or for your birthday or for whatever event you plan to lose weight. I'm asking you, can you follow this diet for the next 5 years? For example, every Christmas, every holiday, every birthday dinner, every stressful Tuesday, any day, you have to follow this specific diet. Can you do that? If the honest answer is probably not, then whatever you're doing is not a long-term solution. It's a temporary intervention, and temporary intervention produces temporary results. This is not a judgment. Cutting out an entire food group, cutting every calorie, restricting your eating window, or avoiding all social meal is very hard to sustain in the real world. I do agree, especially for years on hand. Most people can't, and most researchers show that those people really don't. People don't. You don't. The researcher on weight maintenance consistently show that the people who successfully keep weight off long term aren't following extreme diet. So they're made small and consistent and enjoyable changes that become part of their actual lifestyle, nutrition, way of eating. The key message from the science: diet falls not because people fail, because the diet for weight loss works on paper. The fail is because they are designed as temporary. They are not designed for the long term. They're designed as temporary to fix a permanent challenge, which will not work.
Well, I hope you got some answer regarding this part of the video, that you got some more understanding about why weight loss diet, strict weight loss diet don't work over the time. So this part of the video is part of the long format video why do weight loss diet work over the time. So there is a long format of it where I'm going through different chapters and more explanation scientifically, and yes, so you can watch the full part of the video here, the long format of the video here. Yes, so this channel is quite new, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. Every subscriber is very useful for us. And yes, so in the next part of the video we're going to see exactly yes, the different sources, so there is another part of the video where we talk about the different scientists online that are talking about nutrition, diet, weight loss diet in general, and so they are giving their point of view. They are giving us, they are sharing their experience, the different experimentation they went through, observation, the analysis of scientific article. So they are sharing their experience about working on weight loss, weight loss diet in general. So feel free to watch the next part of the video here. And so I see you next time for another video. Bye bye.